In today's video, I'm basically going to be explaining why I think that we could be seeing another dot-com bubble pretty soon. So I was looking over some stuff about the dot-com bubble, just like looking over like some stuff that happened during that time and see, because everyone says right now is a bubble, but I just wanted to see from the chart if that's true. And remember, if you follow my channel, I really do enjoy this like logarithmic SPY chart, and it goes all the way back from like the 1872. And it's like, okay, so there's like three distinct zones, and the only time we've been up in this zone is dot-com bubble, right? This is like 97, 2000. And if you like pull this down further down here, then it's like the 1920s, right? During the roaring 20s. And during each of these periods, there was a tremendous amount of prosperity, and the stock market was going crazy. Like, just like today, like I'm sure like someone knows somebody trying to quit their job or trying to become a day trader, which is probably not going to work out for them. In case you didn't know, I day traded for like maybe I'd say like tried like a year and a half, maybe like a year, and it sucked. I was so bad at it. So if anyone's a successful day trader, shout out to you, man, because that is seriously, it's not easy at all. That shit is borderline gambling. But basically, I think it's very curious how seeing how reliable and how historically accurate these logarithmic regression bands are. It seems odd how we seem to be in a similar zone that indicates that a giant run up in the stock market it's about to happen, right? And also, I remember seeing somewhere like I wish I could pull up the exact article, but I remember seeing this article somewhere which quoted Keynes, who was like a big economist. He was like a rock star economist during this era, and he was like literally like I think during the late 20s, he's like, oh, the stock market. So basically, the stock market was going up so much that no one thought that it would ever go down, which might sound ridiculous, but just hear me out for a second. He was like saying there's so much prosperity, because you got to understand, like, people were farming, and like people basically had pretty much no technology at all. And during this period right here, you saw electricity, trains, the freaking telegraph, like so many things were happening. So it was a completely different world. So people thought, all these technological changes are happening. We're getting so much prosperity. Like, so I think that's kind of the reason why he thought that, like, oh my God, things are going so fucking good. There's no way there could be a crash, because the economy is not going to crash. But it happened, right? And so you might think, oh, well, that was just like back then. But people were saying the same thing now. People were saying the same thing over here in the 90s. People were literally like saying the stock market, it's different this time, right? Because of the internet. The internet was super revolutionary. The computers came along. They were getting better and better. And so people were also saying the same thing here. They were saying, it's a completely different economy. It's a whole new world. It's different this time. The economy cannot crash. And, the economy didn't really crash. The stock market crashed. And so if you think about, okay, you might go like, well, people aren't saying that. I think people are saying that because people say the Fed's got our back. I hear this all the time. The Federal Reserve will not allow the stock market to crash. I literally heard so like Raoul Pal from Real Vision. I have huge, massive respect for Raoul, and I seriously, like, every word that he says, I take it like it's the Bible. But then I also thought it was curious how he said there is no way the stock market can go down for a long period of time for the next couple of years, because, well, and he does have a very good point. If at all there is some sort of economic problem, if at all like the stock market goes down, the Federal Reserve will just say they're going to stimulate and do some sort of fiscal or monetary stimulus, and that'll bring the markets right back up. And so I think that for large, in his larger point, I think that is pretty true. But I think he knows too. Like he knows too. There's no way he doesn't. But there is only so much that the Fed can only do that for so long. And I expect us to like hit somewhere around here. I don't know, maybe a couple of years from now. And then you could better expect people saying, hey, it's different this time. The Federal Reserve got our back. Stock market cannot crash, blah, 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 blah. But I'm pretty sure it will, just like how it did over here, over here. And also, if you haven't watched my past videos, you know that I'm a huge believer in these like market cycles where we have pretty much 10 years of underperformance, and then we have long stretches of overperformance, which is like 15 years, and then we have periods of underperformance. Like, look, if you bought like something here, you pretty much gotten flat from like 1927 to like 1949. That's 20 years. And so the stock market goes in cycles, and like starting from 69, right? If you bought like, let's say right here, let's say like, this entire time buying the dip was very good for you, so you decided to buy the dip over here, you would have pretty much not have made any money, because we just did this since 69 all the way to like 82, which is pretty insane. Overperformance, and then what do you know? Underperformance, and now we've been overperforming. So my basic idea, and the reason why I like it so much, is because it's just so stupid and simple, right? You just draw some freaking lines, say, okay, we're gonna hit this line, and there's also these cycles, and it seems like these cycles are going, like, they're gonna combine together. We're gonna hit the top here, and that's gonna be end of the overperformance, and the next 10 or so years will be relative underperformance. That's like my general thesis. And so I think that we are headed towards another .com bubble. This was like definitely a technical revolution. This was based on like the tech bubble. And I think this one will be backed by tech too, but I just don't know exactly what. And I also think it's very interesting. This video is getting a bit too long. I'll just explain it super quick. Like, what happens? So it's been getting really, really obvious that if the stock market goes down, like right here, this was February 20, crypto also goes down. Right, this was like February 20-ish. So I think, and especially if institutions and stuff starts getting in, it's definitely going to be extremely important what the stock market does, because the way, if you don't know, they have portfolios that are set up, and they have strict rules and strict parameters where if a certain percentage of their positions in stocks fall, they would have to sell other assets to make up for that. It's just, they are a rule-based institution. So even though crypto is fundamentally, well, is it fundamental? Well, like, even though crypto and stock market are two different things, they start combining when the people buying them combine them into a singular portfolio. So you could definitely expect stock market goes down, like, I don't know what it'll do, but like, let's say it goes from here down to like this band, like 50% decline. You better believe they will be forced to sell their gold, their bonds, sell their Bitcoin or whatever to cover for those losses. Because especially if you're a pension fund, you have to constantly give out money, and like, you can't just diamond hand things because you got to pay out people who need the money every month. So you will be forced to sell stuff. So there we go. It's just odd because Bitcoin goes in these cycles, and it seems like once we hit, so I personally think, this video is all over the place. God damn it. I'm not editing nothing though. So basically, I think the peak of Bitcoin could be around like March through June 2022. And if history is of any, if history like repeats or rhymes or whatever they say, this bear market should last around a year. So let's say, let's just say like, I don't know, May 2023. And then we start going back up again in anticipation of the halving, and around 2024, we should be on our way to another bull market. And then we know the bull markets have been taking like longer and longer for it to play out. So I expect like, I don't know, us to hit I don't know even when, but I know like 2024, 25, we're going to be in the middle of a bull market. But it's interesting because what if we hit the top here and start falling right in the middle of Bitcoin's bull market in the next cycle? Then would that mean that the cycle breaks, or at least is halted for a very long time? Because like, if you really think about it, these cycles have been ridiculously easy to identify. Like, it's been really easy to identify the bottoms of these cycles, and not necessarily the tops, but you know when it's a good time to sell. And it's like, there's no way the markets are structured in a way, or like, because humans adapt. If people know that how these halvings work and how these cycles work, they'll try to front run it, and then other people will try to front run them, and then yada yada yada. So it's like, will this pattern continue for the rest of the fucking life, right, of Bitcoin? Let's see. Like, I think this is a good way to see it. Like, come on. It's just been way too easy to know what the fuck Bitcoin's gonna do. And so is this gonna keep happening over and over again? Is it gonna be that easy? I don't think so. I think things are gonna be a little different in a while. But I think I did do a video on this. Like, cycles can persist for a very long time. Like, if you look at TLT, let's go to TNX. You go to TNX, right? This is a lock chart, so it's fucked up. I mean, this pattern of it reaching the top and the bottom has been going since 1986, and then we've won like 2, 3, 4. So, as much as I am a little skeptical that markets will adapt, the largest market, the financial market in the entire world, 10-year bonds, has been doing this pattern for a very long time. Like, it's almost cyclical what they do over here. So it's like, maybe it can. Maybe Bitcoin can stick to this cycle for a very, 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 very long time, even if there is some sort of giant stock market correction. But I think it's just something to look out for. The point of this is there's no way to completely, like, you're not like some like super genius guy like in the movie that like can foresee everything and plans everything all at once and watch your plan unfold. You have to be on your feet. You have to adapt. If things happen differently, then you have to like think differently. So that's my approach. I'm not gonna try to figure everything out right now, because you just cannot do that. All I'm gonna do is just say I have some idea of what things could happen, and so I'm just gonna lay out a couple different game plans. And if this happens or if this happens, and all I know is it looks like so far so good. We're not hitting the top end of this. It's probably gonna take a couple of years. And so basically, I also want to do, like, when we broke out of this area back in 1997, how long did it take for us to hit the top? May 1997, March 2000. So like 3 years. And then it wasn't until a couple months later when we really started falling. So, I mean, things don't really tend to happen exactly the same thing, but if we were just to take a big guess, 3 years from here would be April of 2024. We would be hitting the top. So April 2024, that would be like right here, right when the halving happens in the next Bitcoin cycle. So it's like, fuck. I don't know what's going to happen. But I just wanted to talk about this, and if anyone thought this was a useful video, I hope you guys learned something and can, think about this too and plan ahead. And also, if you have like some ideas about what the heck you think is going to happen, please fucking DM me or comment something, because I love to just read everyone's comments and just hear what everyone else has to think too, because no one knows what the fuck is going to happen. So I hope this video was somewhat useful, and if you guys like it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.